did a thing like that?
Leo Robin and Ralph Ranger wrote a lot of songs for Bing Crosby, you know, like it's Julian January and and they wrote Bob Hope's theme song, what is it?
Thanks for the Melody.
Thanks for the Melody. They wrote an awful lot of pictures. And then there was Gordon and Rebel before I wrote with Matt Gordon. And they did some pictures at Paramount. And Brown and Freed, who did quite a few musicals, you know.
Can you tell us about the first time you came to Hollywood? You came by train.
Hollywood was 1929, and I did a picture at Warner Brothers called Springer's Here, which was a movie version of a stage play written by Rodgers and Hart.
Mm.
And in that picture, I wrote 3 songs. Crying for the Carolines, and Have a Little Faith in Me, and Absence Makes the Heart Go Fonder for Somebody Else. And we had the Rock Sisters in that picture, who were a very famous trio of singers who worked in a lot of musical comedies in New York. And that was the first time I came to New York, California in 1929. Then I came back in 32 to do 42nd Street. And by the way, when I came back, and it was the summer of 1932, all the studios were closed. There was nobody working on the lots at all. Nobody was making any musicals. In fact, everybody was laid off, and I was on the Warner lot in Burbank. And the only fellas there were a few people take care of the place, and Mr. Zanuck was then in charge of production. And he had this script of 42nd Street. He said, I think this will make a good picture. He said, why don't you fellas read it and see if you can come up with some songs for it. And that's how we did 42nd Street.
Where did you work in the
right
studio?
On the studio lot.
But you had your own office there?
Yes, we had our own office.
What kind of an office was that?
Well, a nice bare room with a piano in it.
So all there?
Bare room with a piano. I think there was a couch in it, I'm not sure. A couple of pictures on the wall. It wasn't anything on it.
Had you written the songs before the film was made, or did you write them as they filmed it?
No, we wrote most of it before they filmed it.
I thought you told me last time about how Berkeley would be waiting on the set.
Yeah, well, that was on later pictures, too. He was always waiting on a set for us to write something so he could produce it. But 42nd Street, I remember Al Dubin, who wrote it with me, he was the lyric writer, went to San Francisco, and I had given them this melody. And he came back with the lyric of Shuffle Off the Buffalo, written on a menu card, by the way. And Buzz hadn't even heard it yet, you know. We played it for him. And he said, gee, that would make a great number. I can see I can do a lot with that, with a train or something. And that's how all these things were written.
Did he like most of your songs?
He never turned one down. And Dick Powell and all the pictures I did for him.
And would he suggest how he'd film the song directly after you'd played it to him?
No,
he'd have ideas?
No. Most of the time he was waiting for us to give him a song. Then he'd sit for days trying to think of how he could do it. And the producers would run down on the set every day and say, what's going on here? We're losing money. You know, same old stuff. It's costing us money. You're sitting around not doing anything. So that went on in every picture I ever worked on, the same old stuff. The budget was more important than what you were writing, according to them.
Did the producers ever have objections to any of your songs, to lines in them or anything like that? Did they ever?
I don't know. Thinking back, I can't think of us having any trouble about songs. We learned a lesson in the beginning, not to play more than one song at a time. Because if you play 5 songs, they'll say, I like the first one, I don't like the third, fourth, and fifth, you know, or the second. Well, I like the second, I don't like the first. So we learned that. We did enough to play them one at a time.
Yes. Did you socialize much, Harry, in Hollywood?
No, I never socialized with any Hollywood people. Not that I didn't want to, but it just didn't work out that way. I think the only producer I was ever friendly with was Lou Edelman, who I did some pictures with. who afterwards went into TV. But I don't think we ever had any trouble about songs. I can't remember any, to tell you the truth, where we ever played a song, they said they didn't like it, or they might say, well, we can't use it in this picture, you know. We'll use it in another picture, which they eventually did. I mean, I can remember having an argument with Al about it, my lyric writer, about a lyric he wrote for a song which I didn't like, and he got mad at me. And it was the first time I ever said I didn't like a lyric, you know. And he went off in a huff, but he came back with another lyric. And the lyric was about 8:45 that we wrote for Jolson.
What did you like about the first lyric then?
Well, I don't think the lyric belonged to the melody, which proved I was right. Because I took the other lyric and I wrote a different tune to that, and that was called Mammy, I'll Sing About You, which in those days when they recorded a song, they recorded it live on the stage. And Mammy, I'll Sing About You was a terrific hit with the extras. They all were crazy about it, but it never happened when it was published. So,
well, that was Going to Your Dance, and that was a dandy picture. That was nominated as Best Picture of the Year in 1935, wasn't it?
But I liked that picture. I thought it was a wonderful picture.
Did you go to the premieres?
Yes, in those days I did go.
You did? You'd roll up in a big car and everything?
Big car, and people look and say, oh, that's nobody. You know, of course, they didn't recognize us as, they only recognized movie actors. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love for you.
Thanks a lot, Harry.
Know this one? There'll never be another you?
No, slightly.
There may be many other nights like this.